Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and welcome. Please rise as the Evanston Police Honor Guard will post the colors and will recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Will you please remain standing, and I would like to call up one of our police chaplains, Reverend Taurus Skurlak, to give the invocation.
Let us pray. O wise and eternal God, as we come this evening to celebrate your servants, your angels, those who serve us and protect us, we ask a special blessing upon them and their households. Bless this great city. In a mighty, matchless name, we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Skurlak. Good evening, families and friends. My name is Ken Carter, and I'm one of the commanders for the night shift, the mighty Midnight A shift. And it is. And it's my distinct honor to welcome you all tonight to our award ceremony. We are privileged to be joined by two exemplary leaders who have tirelessly dedicated themselves to the betterment of our community. First, please help me join welcoming our Honorable Mayor Daniel Biss. Mayor Biss has been a transformative force in our city, advocating for progressive policies and working tirelessly to create a more inclusive and vibrant community. His leadership and vision has been instrumental in driving forward numerous initiatives that has positively impacted our citizens. And next, I am delighted to introduce our esteemed city manager, Mr. Luke Stowe. Mr. Stowe's exceptional management and innovative approach to city governance have significantly enhanced our efficiency and effectiveness over our city's operations. His commitment to public service and his forward-thinking strategies have been pivotal in ensuring our city continues to thrive. And additionally, he has given the greatest gift we can ask for, Chief Stewart. So please, give him a warm welcome to Mayor Daniel Biss and Mr. City Manager Luke Stowe. Thank you.
Can they sit? It makes me nervous when people stand when I'm talking. I don't know. Commander, it still is fun to call you that, by the way. Commander, thank you for the overly, sort of inappropriately generous introduction, I would say. I just wanted to welcome everyone to this event, which I think is really an important event for our city and for our community. You know, the thing about the police department is that it's kind of the place that people go for every single problem that they don't know somewhere else to go to. And it's there for that unbelievably diverse set of reasons 24/7, 365, which is just not how the rest of us have to operate. I mean, I try hard to be a 24/7 mayor, but I go to bed periodically and I try to kick problems over to other people if they're better equipped than I am to solve them. But the police department kind of deals with everything, and it deals with everything always. It's just a constant life of curveballs. And it's a constant life of hitting those curveballs over the fence in the case of the Evanston Police Department. And so I think it's fair to say, without exaggeration, that on a weekly basis, I have some situation where I'm just really blown away by the professionalism, the humanity, the community mindedness, and the creativity of the personnel of our police department. And so I get used to it. I see it all the time. Chief Stewart gets used to it. She sees it all the time. But I think it's really valuable for us to take a minute every year to identify some of the most exceptional successes and celebrate them. First of all, because when you do a great job, you ought to be thanked and appreciated and celebrated, but also because I think our community needs to know how remarkable this group of people is in responding to so many different types of complex and surprising and unique challenges. So thank you very much for the work you do every single day. It's an honor to be a small part of saying thank you this one time a year, and I hope that our whole community hears what we talk about tonight and spends the rest of the year saying thank you as well, because those thanks are well deserved. Thanks very much.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to honor our officers, employees of the city of Evanston, and the citizens who have gone above and beyond the call of duty in order to promote the quality of life that we aspire to in here in Evanston. I would be remiss if I didn't thank the family and friends of our officers, of our staff. And I said this before, and I'll say it again. Without you, without your love and support, we couldn't do this job. And as the mayor alluded to, there's some heroes in this room. And I'm honored to work with them and stand by them. But again, without the love and support of family and friends, we can't be great. So thank you. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for helping us get through the days. And I know it's going to be tough, and of the long hours and missing holidays. We sincerely appreciate you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So I would like to thank you all. So before we present awards, I would like to give acknowledgement to our community engagement and outreach team, as well as our Community Policing Academy. This represents a true partnership between the Evanston Police Department and the community. And again, with our citizen partners, we can effectively do our job. So thank you. I would like to recognize the members past and present. Thank you for taking initiative, and thank you for wanting to learn more about us. You know, there's stigmas with the professions, but thank you for being bold and seeing exactly what we do, and we appreciate that. You don't know how much that means to us, because anyone who's been on the job for more than a day know we can't do our job effectively without your help. So again, thank you so much. Chief Stewart, Deputy Chief Jody Wright, Deputy Chief Dan Russell, Deputy Chief Melissa Secluti, please join me. It's time to present some awards. So I will now turn the mic over to my friend Commander Tony Correa. He will explain the type of awards that will be presented tonight.
Thank you. Like Commander Carter said, welcome, and thank you all for your work. I am the Midnight B Commander, and I will say Midnight's, like Kenny said, it's a little different, and I think it makes the suit fit a little bit tighter. I'm not really sure how that happened. Tonight we will honor officers, employees, and citizens in the following categories. Certificates of recognition. This is the 4th level of recognition and is awarded for acts of service normally expected of a member in the course of everyday duties, but which merit recognition because of special circumstances. Honorable mentions. This is the 3rd highest form of recognition. It is given for outstanding police work, such as singularly solving a serious crime, or by individual initiative, apprehending a criminal, and the act of committing a crime. Department commendations. This is the second highest form of recognition. The departmental commendation is awarded to members who distinguish themselves and bring credit to the department by highly creditable or unusual acts in the performance of police duties. Such acts will rise above the expected norm of police or community service in a significant manner. Valor. This is the highest award that can be given to departments who, by an act of outstanding bravery or heroism, has demonstrated a great degree of selflessness and personal courage, which resulted in the saving of a human life. Without such actions by the department member, the person would have died or suffered great bodily harm. We will also present the Chief's Special Award, the Partnership Award, Police Service Commendations, Unit Citations, and lastly, Officer of the Year. I will now turn over the podium to Commander James Pillars III.
I have to bring this up a little bit. Good evening. My name is Commander Jimmy Pillars. I'm currently assigned to the Special Operations Group. Our first award of the night is for an honorable mention with Detective Daniel Rosenbaum and Detective, now Sergeant, Richard Shanis. Please step up. On February 15th, 2023, Special Operations Group detectives responded to a report of a person brandishing a firearm in the 2000 block of Emerson Street. The subject was no longer in possession of the firearm, but was experiencing a mental episode. He was safely taken into custody and transported to the hospital for treatment. Based on the recovery of live ammunition from the subject during his arrest, detectives authored and executed a search warrant on the residence, which produced 2 handguns, one of them being stolen, and numerous items of narcotics paraphernalia, manufacturing, packaging material, and 3.8 grams of suspect cocaine. For their diligent investigative efforts, Detective Rosenbaum and Detective, now Sergeant, Richard Shanis are both awarded an honorable mention. And if the two of you would stay up here, please. We'll now present certificates of recognition and honorable mentions with telecommunicators Jesse McPhail, Michael Velasquez, Detective, now Special Agent, Kyle Wyman, Officer Ryan Kohler, and Sergeant Tortorello. Please step forward. On January 14, 2023, a caller to 911 reported that she observed a subject in a vehicle point a gun at another subject in traffic in the area of Church and Dodge. A review of EPD pod camera footage revealed this to be true. Information regarding this vehicle and its occupants was quickly disseminated to all Evanston units in the field. Later that day, the offending vehicle was stopped and 2 known subjects were taken into custody. For promptly reviewing EPD pod camera footage and quickly disseminating officer safety information so that officers could take action, telecommunicator Jesse McPhail and Michael Velasquez are awarded a certificate of recognition. Officer Ryan Kohler, Special Agent Kyle Wyman, Detective, now Sergeant Richard Shanis, Detective Daniel Rosenbaum, and Sergeant Tortorello were able to locate and stop the offending vehicle in question. 2 known subjects were taken into custody along with a fully loaded Glock 40 caliber handgun were recovered from the vehicle. For being vigilant in the search for the offending vehicle and then taking suspects safely into custody and recovering a firearm, all of you are awarded the department's honorable mention.
We have a lateral application here, sir. You wanna come back?
I will now turn it over to Commander Glenn.
Hello, good evening. I am Commander Liz Glenn. I am one of the 4 patrol commanders, and I am not on midnight shift. I am on the day shift. Next, we will present the unit citation. The unit citation is an award given to any unit, bureau, or specialty in recognition of their combined efforts towards the goals and missions of the department. Will the following personnel please step forward? Sergeant Marla Dukler, Sergeant Sophia Syed, Officer Nathaniel Basner, Officer Heidi Bernhardt, Retired Officer Corey McRae, Officer Jacqueline Roden, Officer now Detective Dave Cherry, Officer Jason Nelson, Officer Daniel Pack, Officer Gregory Ramiro, Officer Jeremy Neiman, and Officer Stanley Sampson. Slide down. Like many police departments across the country, the Evanston Police Department has been at low staffing levels for several years. During this time, there has been a recruitment and hiring push to regain proper staffing. During 2023, 23 recruits, including lateral officers from other departments and those with no police experience at all, were trained in Evanston Police Department procedures, culture, and community policing. Many field training officers had little to no break from training, which is mentally challenging and can lead to burnout. The Evanston Police Department field training officers rose to the challenge and maintained their professionalism and commitment to the program. For their dedication, guidance, and ability to work as a unit to get new officers ready to protect and serve our community, all are awarded the department's unit citation. Good job, good job. What? Progress. I am so hot. Like, next, we will present certificates of recognition. Will Detective David Sepio please step forward? On February 12, 2023, officers responded to the 2100 block of Ashland for an attempted murder investigation. Detectives assigned to the case worked diligently to gather all of the evidence, including body-worn camera footage, which aided the assistant state's attorney in approving felony charges for attempted first-degree murder. For his thorough investigation and attention to detail on this case, Detective David Sepio is awarded a certificate of recognition. Will the following individuals please step forward? Officer Daniel Pack and Officer Juan Navarrete. clarified, it'll just be Officer Pack, Officer Navarrete couldn't make it. On March 15th, 2023, officers responded to the 1300 block of Main Street for a domestic incident involving a man armed with a hammer and knife threatening his mother and adult sisters. After removing the family from harm, officers not only built a rapport with the victims, but also with the offender. These officers remained on scene for several hours and continued working with the suicidal subject. The subject eventually agreed to be transported to the hospital for mental health care and a psychological evaluation. For your patience and dedication to a subject in severe crisis, you are awarded a certificate of recognition. And you can stay up here. The next award is for an honorable mention. Will Officer Jacqueline Roden please step forward and join Officer Dan Pack? On March 20th, 2023, officers responded to the 1400 block of Greenleaf after a woman reported being threatened by someone with a gun. The discovery of a loaded, extended magazine in plain view prompted officers to prepare and execute a search warrant, which led to the recovery of a loaded handgun and crack cocaine. For their diligence and investigative skills, which led to a felony charge, Officer Daniel Pack and Officer Jacqueline Roden are awarded honorable mentions. The next awards are for certificates of recognition and an honorable mention. Will Sergeant Christopher Tortorello, Detectives Clara Just, Rebecca Najoik, and David Sepio please step forward? On March 2nd, 2023, officers responded to the 1900 block of Darrow for a sex offense investigation involving a juvenile. The investigation revealed that the offender was a friend of the juvenile's mother and was in a position of power. The offender took the juvenile for a ride alone in his vehicle and assaulted her. The subject remained on scene and he was taken into custody and eventually charged. Sergeant Christopher Tortorello oversaw this investigation, ensuring that all of the evidence, including the offender's vehicle and evidence inside, were seized. For his thorough leadership, Sergeant Christopher Tortorello is awarded a certificate of recognition. Detectives Clara Just, Rebecca Najoik, and David Sepio are all awarded with the certificate of recognition as well. These detectives took over the complex investigation the next day. Interviews were conducted and a full confession from the offender was obtained. The confession including the location and recovery of a firearm that was used during the crime. For their thoroughness and dedication to bringing this offender to justice, Detectives Clara Just, Rebecca Najoik, and David Sepio are awarded with the Department Certificate of Recognition. Will Officer Ryan Kohler please step forward? On April 12, 2023, officers responded to the Clark Street Beach area for a report of a person shot. There were 3 victims in total, and the scene was unsecured and chaotic. Yet Officer Ryan Kohler did not hesitate to provide first aid for the victims and quickly began CPR on a second victim. Officer Ryan Kohler worked in tandem, providing chest compressions until the Evanston Fire Department arrived on scene. For placing the needs of the victim before your own safety and working quickly and calmly in an attempt to save a life, Officer Ryan Kohler is awarded an honorable mention. I will now turn the podium back over to Commander Correa.
I will not be adjusting the microphone. Will Detective Daniel Rosenbaum and Detective now Sergeant Richard Shanis please step forward? We're all the way in the back. Special Operations Group detectives conducted a traffic stop in the 1800 block of Lake Street and made contact with 4 occupants in the vehicle. A search of the vehicle was conducted, and the front seat passenger was found to be in possession of a ghost gun. 2 passengers were also in possession of cannabis, and for their outstanding work in removing an illegal ghost gun, thus making our community safer, Detective Daniel Rosenbaum and Detective now Sergeant Richard Shanis are awarded certificates of recognition. The next award will be a unit citation. Will Commander Kenneth Carter, Detective Michael Geyer, Detective now Sergeant Richard Shanis, Detective Nina Griffith, Detective Daniel Rosenbaum, and Detective Kyle Weidman please step forward. Special Agent Weidman. In October 2022, Homeland Security Investigations Chicago Gangs and Violent Crimes Task Force, in conjunction with the ATF, Skokie Police Department, and Evanston Police Department's Special Operations Group, initiated an investigation into the Only the Guys street gang. On October 20th, 2022, the leader of the main supplier of OTG was identified. After conducting a long-term investigation with the use of an undercover officer, an arrest warrant was executed on the offender. Several additional search warrants were conducted, which resulted in the recovery of 22 grams of cocaine, 30 grams of heroin, 422 grams of cannabis, an AR-15 pistol, a Glock 19X, which was reported stolen out of Evanston, a Glock 27, a Sig Sauer 365, another Glock 19X, a Glock converter switch, and several rounds of various caliber ammunition. For their diligent efforts in making the community a safer place, the Special Operations Group are awarded a unit citation. Thank you.
Come on back, baby.
Next, we will present honorable mentions and certificates of recognition. Will the following individuals please step forward? Officer Jacqueline Roden, Officer Daniel Pack, Retired Officer Corey McCrae, and Officer Manuel Vasquez. On May 20th, 2023, an officer was on routine patrol when he was flagged down in the 1800 block of Sherman by a visibly upset female. She reported that a male unknown to her grabbed her on the street and attempted to pull her into his vehicle. She was able to break free from the subject and ran until she saw an officer. The officer, Officer Hicks, who is unable to attend tonight's ceremony, quickly gathered a detailed description of the offender and his vehicle, as well as the direction he was last seen driving in. Officer Jacqueline Roden and Officer Daniel Pack were in the area, observed the vehicle, and attempted to stop it, but a pursuit ensued. Officer Jacqueline Roden and Officer Daniel Pack kept assisting officers advised of the rapidly changing location. The vehicle was eventually stopped, and the offender was taken into custody without injury to anyone involved or to the public. The offender was charged with attempted kidnapping. For Officer Jacqueline Roden and Officer Daniel Pack's keen observation skills and immediate attempt at engaging the subject, both are awarded an honorable mention. Retired Officer Corey McCrae joined in on the pursuit and assisted in taking the offender into custody. For his response to assist in taking a serious offender into custody, Retired Officer Corey McCrae is awarded a certificate of recognition. Thank you. I will now turn it over to Police Chief Shanita Stewart for the presentation of certificates of recognition for a number of individuals that responded to a shooting in which 3 individuals were shot, 1 fatally. Chief.
Good evening, and thank you for being here tonight. Will the following individuals please step forward? Detective Rebecca Najolik, I know she's not here right now, but also Detective Clara Juss, Detective David Seipel, Detective Corey Swenson, Detective Amanda Wright, Detective Michael Cameron, Detective Pedro Carrasco, Sergeant Michael Andre, Detective Anthony Sosa, Detective Amin Barani, Detective, now Sergeant Richard Shanis, Evanston Police Department Crime Analyst Marianne Ring, Detective Daniel Rosenbaum, and all investigators and forensic specialists from the North Regional Major Crimes Task Force. Please step up. On April 12, 2023, officers responded to the area of Clark Street Beach for a person shot, which turned out to be 3 persons shot, 1 who succumbed to his wounds. With no offender in custody, a full investigation began with the assistance of the North Regional Major Crimes Task Force. Within 2 months of the homicide, 2 offenders had been identified, arrested, and charged with first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder. All these members worked together and solved a serious crime. Additionally, the investigation involved the collection, analysis, and follow-up of hundreds of pieces of evidence and leads, requiring countless hours of work. For their dedication, investigative skills, and overall outstanding police work, they're all awarded a certificate of recognition. Thank you. Start the line over here. Jump in here and get some of this. Oh, I see you again. Thank you. I said your name right. No problem. What's up, DC?
All right, Detective Ronnie, please step forward. And Analyst Sam Walker, please step forward. You should have my phone. Sam is a bad guy. He clone your phone without you even knowing it. So just make sure you stay. I'm serious. This guy's, I know. He's like, yeah. They do. Our next award is a certificate of recognition and a letter of appreciation. On August 19th, 2023, a carjacking occurred in the 500 block of Elmwood, and a few days later, the vehicle was located in Lincolnwood. The investigation developed a suspect who was later arrested. The offender's cell phone was seized, and an extraction was done after a search warrant was obtained. The search was to find evidence of the carjacking, but instead revealed very disturbing child pornography. This resulted in a lengthy juvenile investigation, leading to the offender being charged with child pornography under the age of 13. For their dedication to the investigation of child pornography, assisting in taking the evidence discovered on the offender's phone and pursuing criminal charges, Detective Arani was able to assist in removing a sexual predator from the community. For his assistance with this investigation, Detective Arani is awarded a certificate of recognition, and Analyst Sam Walker is awarded a letter of appreciation. Thank you, gentlemen. I ain't gonna mess with you. Will Detective D. Rose Dan Rosenbaum please step forward? Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. This is going to be an honorable mention for Detective Rosenbaum. On June 6, 2023, the Special Operations Group member conducted a traffic stop on a red Kia in the 1400 block of Foster. A search was conducted on the vehicle's occupants, revealing that 2 of the 3 occupants illegally possessed loaded handguns in their waistbands. Additionally, one of the occupants possessed an active warrant with illegal cannabis located inside of the vehicle. Subsequently, both offenders were charged with aggravated unlawful use of a weapon. For his outstanding investigative skill, which removed 2 illegal guns, thus making our community safer, Detective Dan Rosenbaum is awarded a certificate of recognition. But I'm sorry, it's an honorable mention, sorry. It's good. It's still great work. Apologize for the typo, Dan. Officer Juan Neverett is not present here today, but will Officer Giovanni Cortez, is he present? Either one's okay. Neither one are available, but I'm going to read the good work that they did. On June 24th, 2023, officers conducted a traffic stop at Dodge and Mulford after observing a vehicle driving recklessly and at a high rate of speed. Officers completed a consent search of the vehicle, and after the driver was seen reaching towards the floorboard, a handgun was located inside the vehicle that the driver later admitted to owning. The driver was subsequently charged with a felony. For their keen observation and investigative skills, which resulted in the safe removal of a firearm, thus making the community safer, Officer Juan Navarrete and Giovanni Cortez are awarded the department's honorable mention. It's great work. It's great work. My FTO, will Officer Jeremy Neiman please step forward? Hi, Jeremy. On February 8th, 2023, a hit-and-run accident occurred in the 1300 block of Chicago, which resulted in a woman being critically injured. Initially, it was believed that the victim had fallen, but the investigation revealed that she was actually struck by a vehicle. Officer Jeremy Neiman of the Traffic Bureau was assigned to assist in the investigation of the incident. Over 100 hours of video was reviewed and dozens of locations were canvassed. After 5 months of investigation, officers were able to develop the necessary information needed to arrest the offender. For his extraordinary dedication to resolving this incident on behalf of the victim, Officer Jeremy Neiman is awarded an honorable mention. Good job, Jeremy. Will Officer Heidi Bernhardt Salomon please step forward? She's making her way up in the back. All right. On August 17th, 2023, officers responded to the 900 block of Maple for a domestic disturbance that had escalated to a person who was stabbed. Officers arrived on scene and began speaking with the witnesses and taking statements. Officer Bernhardt assisted with Officers Mazur and Curley with the victim, and they applied chest seals, providing first aid, life-saving medical treatment. For her assistance with these life-saving measures, Officer Bernhardt is awarded a certificate of recognition. It should be noted that the two officers, Officers Mazur and Curley, they're unable to attend tonight, but both are receiving the department's commendation for their actions in this case. Thank you, Heidi, for your work. Thank you. Will citizen Chris Wynn please step forward? $1 million smile there. Good to see you. Good to see you. On January 18th, 2023, members of the Evanston Police Department responded to the 800 block of Davis in response to a suicidal woman preparing to jump from the 11th floor of the parking garage. Chris Wynn, who was on duty as a security officer at the location, located the woman on the 11th floor of the parking garage and pulled the woman from the ledge. He then secured her with the assistance of responding officers. For immediately searching for and locating the subject and then remaining calm during a very intense situation, Chris Wynn is awarded a letter of appreciation. Good job, Mr. Thank you. Outstanding. Thank you. Will citizens Michael and Vicky Perlman please step forward? My faves. On January 18th, it's true, 2023, excuse me, sorry. Very often, it is behind the scenes work that is the backbone of investigations of the Evanston Police Department and what we do and carry out our mission. That is true for the Traffic Bureau, who relied on the dedication of volunteers to compile traffic crash data, which assists them in follow-ups. Michael Perlman has consistently made regular trips to the police department to pick up packets of traffic data and information. His wife, Vicky Perlman, will then review the data and return a final product to the Traffic Bureau. Sounds like a perfect team here. Huh? Yeah, Rabbi. This data is used in reporting statistics in the unit's annual report. They have both donated countless hours of their time to the Evanston Police Department, which are both valued and appreciated. For their unwavering dedication, Michael and Vicky Perlman are awarded a letter of appreciation. Thank you, guys. Give me. All right. Will Commander James Pillis III please step forward?
Will Officer Janet Cram please step forward? On August 3rd, 2023, officers responded to the 500 block of Sheridan Road for a report of a woman screaming. The initial responding officer located the victim and offender, excuse me, who were engaged in a domestic disturbance, and the offender immediately fled. Officer Janet Cram pursued the offender and took him into custody with the assistance of another responding officer. The investigation revealed that the offender had attempted to drown the victim in the lake. Based on Officer Cram's thorough investigation, the offender was subsequently charged with attempted murder. For her quick response and persistent pursuit to a violent offender, Officer Janet Cram is awarded an honorable mention. Will crime analyst Mary Ann Ring step forward, please? Since 2020, the city of Evanston and surrounding communities have been severely impacted by auto thefts and carjackings. From October 22nd to April 23rd, Evanston averaged 23 auto thefts or attempted auto thefts per month. EPD crime analyst Mary Ann Ring began analyzing these incidents and quickly determined that several incidents that occurred in Evanston may be linked to incidents and offenders from neighboring towns. Taking initiative, she collaborated with surrounding agencies and collected crime data and intelligence. Analyst Ring's crime link analysis was the catalyst for the North Shore Motor Vehicle Theft Saturation Mission. The 3-day mission utilized Analyst Ring's comprehensive analysis and resulted in 9 arrests, the recovery of 5 stolen vehicles, all related to Evanston. For her exemplary crime analysis expertise and dedication to her field, crime analyst Mary Ann Ring is awarded a certificate of recognition. I'll now turn it over to Deputy Chief Melissa Secluti, who oversees the Support Services Division. She will present the Evanston Police Department's Partnership Award, a service commendation, and a certificate of recognition.
Good evening. The Evanston Police Department's Partnership Award is awarded by the Chief of Police. It is given to members who, through their extraordinary efforts, have made a significant impact upon the quality of life in the community, thereby advancing the ideal encompassed in the meaning of the word partnership. Will Supervisor Yvette Hobson please step forward? During 2023, Supervisor Yvette Hobson took on several special assignments that included implementation of a new 311 software system, hired and trained 3 desk officers and 1 311 representative, assisted with the requirements of the new Safety Act, and presented at the Association of Government Contact Center Professionals in Nashville, Tennessee, in which she serves as a board chair. Each of these special projects and assignments took a great deal of time and effort, often outside of the Evanston Police Department. For bringing positive recognition to the Evanston Police Department and for all of her hard work and efforts, it is my honor to present Supervisor Yvette Hobson with the department's Partnership Award. Our next award is the Police Service Commendation. Throughout the year, numerous members may be involved in special projects or dedication to duty that deserve the highest honor and recognition. These recipients have accomplished something administratively or excelled in a specialty that has brought special credit to the department or the city of Evanston. Will Supervisor Christopher Voss please step forward? During 2023, Communications Supervisor Christopher Voss took on several special assignments that included completing an Evanston Fire Department radio infrastructure upgrade, added a new public safety radio system which provided portable radios to the City of Evanston's lifeguard operations, upgraded the computer-aided dispatch and voice logger servers, reestablished a ring-down connection with the Northwestern Police Department, deployed Zero Eyes in the Communications Center, worked on the Everbridge community messaging system, and hired a new telecommunicator. Each of these projects and assignments took a great deal of time and effort. Many of these projects strengthened the partnerships with other agencies, as well as the community in Evanston. For bringing positive recognition to the Evanston Police Department and for all of his hard work and efforts, I am honored to present Christopher Voss with the Police Service Commendation Award. Will Lindsay Lalonde please step forward? With the implementation of the Safety Act, there was a learning curve not only for the service desk officers who process prisoners and arrest paperwork, but also for the officers making the actual arrests. Service Desk Officer Lindsay Lalonde has been working as a court liaison for the department for some time, and with all of the changes that were occurring, she took on the task learning all of the new arrest paperwork herself. She attended various training sessions and then attended roll calls and staff meetings at the police department to ensure that everyone, including the command staff, was fully trained on the new process. This was no easy feat. For all her hard work and dedication to getting the entire department trained, and therefore making a seamless transition to all of the new paperwork, process, and protocol, Service Desk Officer and Court Liaison Lindsay Lalonde is awarded a certificate of recognition. Will citizen Luana Leinhart please step forward? As the opioid crisis rages on, it has become apparent that waiting for the Evanston Fire Department to arrive at a scene where Narcan is needed to save a life may not always be the best plan. Members of the police department were recently trained in the use of Narcan by Luana Leinhart of Peer Services. She conducted 8 one-hour sessions in which members of the department learned how Narcan is used to save lives every day across the country, and now the newly trained members of the police department can add yet another tool to assist in saving lives in our community. For partnering with the Evanston Police Department to share her passion and her willingness to teach us the proper application and after effects, Luana Leinhart is awarded the Partnership Award. I will now turn it over to Commander Glenn.
Will Officers John Shannon and Rodney Green please step forward? Just you. Okay. On July 22nd, 2023, telecommunicators received a 911 call from a citizen reporting the location of a stolen vehicle, including information the vehicle was occupied. Officers responded to the area and located the vehicle and offenders. After a foot pursuit, the offenders were arrested. Officers recovered a related firearm on CTA property. For their tenacity in pursuing the offenders, which resulted in the removal of a weapon and violent offenders from the community, Officers John Shannon and Rodney Green are awarded a certificate of recognition. Will Detectives Nicholas Chipolet, Cesar Galindo, and Commander Carter please step forward? In 2023, the Evanston Police Department was inundated with multiple reports of graffiti that were determined to be the work of one subject. The subject defaced both public and private property across the entire city. There were upwards of 30 reports in a one-month time frame. Members of the Special Operations Group mobilized and began very meticulous surveillance of a suspect believed to be solely responsible for the mounting damage and defacement. The members worked tirelessly to gather evidence, track the movement of the suspect, and correlate that to the graffiti that was still occurring. After a lengthy investigation, the suspect was arrested and charged with felony criminal damage to property. For their determination and dedication in stopping a repeat offender who had no respect for property in our community, all are awarded an honorable mention. Congrats. Hey, buddy. Supervision, buddy. Supervision. I will now turn it over to Deputy Chief Dan Russell, who oversees the Investigations Division. He will present the Police Service Commendation and the Special Chiefs Award.
In 2023, the Evanston Police Department was inundated, wrong one, sorry. Will the following please step forward? Officer Arzwaga, Officer Nelson, Sergeant Rust, Detective Zolak, Detective Rosenbaum, Officer Marks, Officer Dan Pack, Officer Roden, Commander Carter, Commander Correa, Officer Basner, Officer Romero, Officer Neiman, Officer Carmichael, and Sergeant Dukler. And there's one other here, Sergeant Cole is not here to attend this evening. With the passage of the Safety Act, all sworn officers in the state of Illinois were charged with completing various training mandates. Several members of our department were called upon to develop training and then ensure that all officers were properly trained to meet the new mandates. Those members were called upon, rose to the challenge, and used their individual talents, skills, and expertise collectively to not only meet the standards set by the state, but far exceed them. Our department did not have to look far to find the resources needed to train the entire department. For their dedication to this department and their willingness to go above and beyond to ensure that the department meets its training obligations and mandates, all are awarded a Police Service Commendation. Congratulations. Sure. Nice, 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 nice. Thanks, thanks, thanks. And for the next award, I'd like to ask Officer Nelson to return to the front, please. This award is the Special Chiefs Award, and it's chosen by the Chief of Police and given to members or citizens based on exceptional service contributions. Officer Jason Nelson has shown tremendous dedication training members of the Evanston Police Department in numerous disciplines, especially firearms. He has voluntarily taken on a leadership role in training and has done so in addition to his regular duties. For his patience while teaching and diligence in getting officers trained, Officer Jason Nelson is awarded the Special Chiefs Award. I will now turn it over to Deputy Chief Jody Wright, who oversees the Field Operations Division, and he will present a Valor Award.
Will Officer Janet Cram please step forward? The Valor Award is the highest award that can be given to the department member or a citizen who, by an act of outstanding bravery or heroism, have demonstrated a great degree of selflessness and personal courage, which resulted in the saving of human life. Without such actions by the department member, the person would have died or suffered great bodily harm. On May 12, 2023, Officer Cram and other officers were dispatched to a report of a man with a gun at the intersection of Benson and Church. Officer Cram, who was working the CTA detail, proceeded to the area. As she approached the intersection, Officer Cram was flagged down, and the offender was pointed out to her. The offender approached Officer Cram. She drew her weapon and gave commands. The offender ignored the commands and removed a gun from his backpack, stating it was a BB gun. Having no confirmation of this, Officer Cram ordered the offender to the ground. But he refused. Being in close proximity to the offender, Officer Cram swatted the gun out of the offender's hand and attempted to take him into custody. He resisted and knocked Officer Cram to the ground and fled, running into a local restaurant. Officer Cram gave chase, and the offender began to fight with her until an employee of the restaurant stepped in and grabbed the offender from behind. Assist officers arrived, and the offender was arrested and charged for her perseverance even after being knocked to the ground, and for her bravery and instinct to stop the threat before it was escalated. Officer Cram is awarded the Valor Award. I will now turn the podium over to Police Chief Shanita Stewart to present the Officer of the Year Award.
Our final award tonight is for Officer of the Year. Will Detective Seapool please step forward? You have been collecting all night. Let's go, baby. Officer of the Year is awarded by the Chief of Police to a police officer of any rank who has shown a consistent exemplary high-level work in support of the department's mission and value statement, including support of the police-community partnership. As a member of the Investigations Bureau for the past 13 years, Detective Seeple has investigated all different types of crimes from financial to homicides. In 2023, Detective Seeple was assigned 173 cases. His expertise and knowledge assists him in resolving many of these cases with significant criminal charges. A few notable cases from 2023 that were resolved by Detective Seeple include the following. An embezzlement of approximately $74,000 from an employer. Detective Seeple contacted other previous employers of the offender, and other large-scale thefts were also reported. This case was resolved with a felony charge. An attempted murder that occurred when one subject shot at another at a local religious location. The altercation stemmed over money, and Detective Seeple conducted a thorough and lengthy investigation that resulted in attempted first-degree murder charges. An attempted kidnapping case was resolved by Detective Seeple after patrol officers gave chase and arrested a subject who was charged with attempted kidnapping. Detective Seeple received aggravated battery charges after a subject stabbed another and after 2 female residents of a residential facility were sexually assaulted. Detective Seeple worked tirelessly to secure criminal sexual assault charges. Thank you for your dedication to the community and to the victims. Your stellar investigative skills have successfully resolved countless crimes, resulting in the removal of violent offenders from our city. Detective David Seeple is awarded Officer of the Year for 2023. Not to embarrass him, but one more hand. Unbelievable 2023. I want to close by thanking everyone for coming to our award ceremony, but before we enjoy some cake and refreshments, I'd like to ask Deputy Chief Melissa Clutie to come back up for a special announcement.
Will the following individuals please step forward? Telecommunicator Jesse McPhail, Officer Heidi Bernhardt, Detective Nicholas Chipolet, Sergeant Sophia Syed, Commander Jason Garner, Commander James Pillars, and lastly, the glue that holds our police department together, Shada Ishu.
Facts.
Truth. She doesn't want to come, but she's being forced. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our awards committee, a group of talented, professional, and dedicated individuals who have spent many, many, many hours reading reports and policy and preparing for this award ceremony. This year's award recipients were evaluated and decided solely on merit, and extreme care was taken to ensure that all of the individuals honored here tonight were evaluated with fairness and dignity. Let's give them a round of applause.
You was making fun of me earlier. You don't get a hug. Look at you looking stellar. Thank you all for coming. Please stay for pictures, cakes, and refreshments. The end.